So, there's a new war brewing for the future of online information. On one side, you've got a giant that we all know and use. And on the other, a brand new AI challenger with a very, very powerful backer. This is the story of Grokipedia, and it's really a battle over what we consider to be the truth.
And the opening shot? Well, it was this unbelievably bold claim from Elon Musk. He's not just suggesting an alternative here. He's straight up declaring that his version is going to surpass Wikipedia by several orders of magnitude. I mean, that's not a suggestion. That is a declaration of war.
So let's meet this challenger. The platform is called Grokipedia. It's an AI-powered rival to a household name, Wikipedia, and it's backed by one of the biggest names in tech.
Okay, so what is this thing exactly? Well, Grokipedia is an encyclopedia built by xAI. That's Musk's artificial intelligence company. Its entire purpose is to use AI, specifically their model called Grok, to create and manage all of its content. The goal? To be a new source of truth for the internet.
But, to take on a giant, you need a pretty powerful reason. So, what's the big problem with Wikipedia, according to Musk? The whole motivation here comes from a really specific criticism of how the platform works today.
And here we have it. This is the core argument. Musk's main critique is that Wikipedia, because it's edited by humans, is vulnerable to what he calls a woke and biased political leaning. So the big idea behind Grokipedia is to just remove that human factor and all its potential for bias from the equation completely.
And get this whole thing happened incredibly fast. The idea was only thrown out there last month by his friend David Sachs. Musk jumped on it immediately, calling an AI encyclopedia super important for civilization. And now, just a little while later, it's a real thing, developed and launched by xAI. Talk about moving quickly.
Okay, so let's actually put them side by side. When you really dig into how they operate, the huge philosophical differences become, well, crystal clear.
This chart really breaks it all down. With Grokipedia, fact-checking is handled by the Grok AI. But on Wikipedia, it's all done by a massive global community of human editors. See a mistake? On Grokipedia, you submit a feedback form. On Wikipedia, if you want, you can jump in and edit the page directly. And this goes right to the top. One is a private company, xAI, while the other is run by a nonprofit, the Wikimedia Foundation. Two totally different worlds.
There are a couple of other key things you should know about Grokipedia's approach. For now, it's just on web browsers. But, and this is a big one, its underlying AI is open source. That's a huge nod to transparency, letting anyone look at the code. And it all fits into its really grand official mission, which is the same as its parent company, xAI, to help humanity better understand the universe.
But this is where the story takes a really fascinating, kind of weird turn. For a platform that's supposed to be the ultimate rival to Wikipedia, there's a connection between the two that really complicates the whole us versus them narrative.
And this brings us to the most important question of all, right? Where does an AI encyclopedia actually get its info from? I mean, to build something this huge, you need a massive amount of knowledge to start with. And the answer here, well, it's both surprising and a little complicated.
The big twist is hiding in plain sight. If you look closely at some of Grokipedia's own articles, you'll spot a little disclaimer. And it says that the content has been adapted from its #1 rival, Wikipedia itself.
And it's not a secret. The disclaimer is super specific, citing the Creative Commons license that actually makes this legal and possible. So it's all above board. But what it means, for right now at least, is that the challenger is literally standing on the shoulders of the giant it wants to replace.
And to put this into perspective, Grokipedia already has nearly 900,000 articles. To get to that kind of scale so fast, it makes a lot of sense that you'd need to pull data from a huge existing source. Now, Musk has said he plans to stop depending on Wikipedia's data by the end of the year, but for now, that's how it's working.
So, what happens next? Look, this is just the opening move in a much bigger game about the future of information. Will they coexist? Will one make the other obsolete? The answers are really going to shape how we all get our knowledge online. Before we wrap, let's just quickly recap the key points from this whole thing.
Okay, so let's boil it all down. First, Grokipedia is Musk's AI-powered answer to Wikipedia, designed to fight what he sees as bias. Second, the fundamental difference is AI versus human editors. And third, in a pretty big twist, the new guy is currently using data from the old guy, though that's supposed to end soon.
And that really leaves us with the one big question to chew on. As we shift from human-curated knowledge to AI-generated knowledge, are we actually getting rid of bias? Or are we just swapping the biases we can see for a new algorithmic kind of bias that's much harder to spot? It's definitely something to think about as this encyclopedia war heats up.